Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your number one source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. Want to welcome you into the Muskogee Media Studios here as we get ready for 30 minutes of great Native American news coming your way. We have crisscrossed the state this week. We've been out and about, and we've got some great features for you lined up as we steam towards Election Day coming up September 19th. 2 weeks from today. So definitely get that on your radars out there, folks. Make sure you know what precinct you belong to. Definitely be informed, and we'll have more information on our social media sites, and stay hooked up with the Creek Nation website, mcn-nsn.gov, for more updates, things about forums. They have a calendar on there, so you can be informed and be ready to vote 2 weeks from today. It's going to be really exciting. Well, as I said, we've got a great show, lots of features this week. We went to Stillwater, OSU, Oklahoma State University, a great campus there. We were able to visit with some fantastic people about the all-new Center for Sovereign Nations there on the campus. Can't wait to show you that. Also, a yearly occurrence here on the Muskogee Creek Nation calendar, our Diabetes Summit. You know, talking about the awareness of diabetes, what we can do to help prevent it. Lots of things happen each year at the Diabetes Summit, new things. So we always want to be able to cover that and show you what happens and the advancements they're making. Also, we're going to take a quick break here as we always do at the front of the show, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Charlie Lesarge, Transportation Manager, to talk about some new things with MCN Transit.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
It's more than just an associate degree. It's a life-changing experience.
You'll see a lot of cultural features here on the campus. You'll see a symbol of the mound, which goes back to the history of Muskogee people as being in that Mississippian time period, that mound building society. That really welcomes our students whenever they first get here.
The college in itself is beyond the building, is the people.
They're passionate, very passionate about what they teach, and it shows whenever they're teaching.
The instructors and the administration, they really believe in their students here.
After a couple classes, I began to notice that it kind of felt as if I were returning back to something that had been lost for like a long time. As I learned more about the history of my people, to discover that there were very many great people that did a lot of good things for their people, for their nations, and that those people were American Indian and Native American, it kind of brings out a sense of pride that was not really there before.
There is a future for our people.
And welcome back to Native News Today. And with me in studio now is the manager of our Transportation Department here at the Muskogee Creek Nation, Mr. Charlie Lesarge. And Charlie, thanks for being with us on the show this week.
Good to be here.
Well, we wanted to bring you in because we got lots of things to talk about, specifically with transit and what you guys are doing over there. A lot of new things, but specifically a new location for you all.
Yes, we opened the office at Wetumpka about a week ago, and it seems like it's going to really turn out good down that way.
Yeah, was it something where you guys saw a lot of need down that way?
Yes, we have a contract with CATS that does all of our pickups down that way, all the way to Holdenville and Eufaula, but we're getting to the point now where we're starting to get DHS vehicles,
right.
And we started with a staff of 6 when I first come in the transit. Now we're up to like 23,
Man.
and we only had 6 vehicles when I came in 2012, and now we have 23 new buses and vans. And it was just our visions to really do a lot of PR and get it out there. And now all the people that wasn't familiar with our transit system all know about it now. So our ridership has went from about 2,000 a month to about 3,800 a month pickups, and it's just growing every day.
Yeah, you guys have done a wonderful job, because not only have you been in the paper, there's been things that you've done to win awards, things like that, but you've also been a part of our program a lot. And I think people get that word of mouth going out there, and they talk to relatives, friends that maybe need a ride here and there. Sometimes they don't have reliable transportation, and we're a great service for that.
Yes, we are. When I first come in, it was considered a tribal transit system, but when I came in, since our funding's based on ridership and miles, I opened it up to the public and made it public. So now we get a lot of non-Indians that ride it here in town and out of town. And you know, the trolley, they did a little episode on the trolley, and that wasn't bought to get rich off or make money off. It was more or less to give free rides here in town to build up our ridership, because the more rides we get, the more money we get at the end of the year.
Yeah, and that was a fun story to do. I remember that. I remember talking with you off camera too about how that trolley became, it kind of became a fun thing. There were kids in town that would see it and want to ride it, and you know, pay a quarter or 50 cents or whatever it was to ride around, and it's a neat little deal for them. But those are just innovative ways to do new things, and you guys have certainly done that. Another thing I want to talk about, I think it's very important, is a new program that you guys have set up. You all, tell me a little bit about it. You guys have a specific route directly to and really put aside for the VA in Muskogee to take veterans to their hospital appointments. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we just started a work route over there, and some of my staff went over and they met with the hospital over there, the VA hospital. So they're trying to schedule their appointments, their VA hospitals, to hit in a time that our route's running through. And they would have had to wait. If we'd have done a route, just a work route, they would have had to wait all day to get back to Okmulgee. But we run that route. It goes to both places about 3 times a day. So we that's when we decided to give the VA, all the veterans, you know, free rides to their appointments and back home. So it's picking up.
Yeah, I figured it was, because, you know, with you all, not only working with us, but other agencies too around the tribe, different departments, getting feedback, probably talked with Veterans Affairs. I know Ken Davis is really involved trying to get some of his veterans to their appointments, to get all their things done, taken care of. So it was probably a lot of partnership too. And I know you really believe in partnerships. There's several that you guys have established.
That's one of my main visions is partnerships, you know, through the counties and cities, governments, and we've done pretty good in the past 3 years with county commissioners helping out on different projects, city mayors, all the city people come in, county people. We even work real hard with ODOT.
Oh, absolutely.
So
you guys actually got an award from ODOT, is that right, or state of Oklahoma? Or?
We got an award in 2013 for marketing of the award of the year.
That's right.
And that was based on the turnaround in our transit system was 300% to 400%.
Okay.
And we probably couldn't have won that award if it wasn't for Charlie, because whenever Charlie works through a 5311 grant for us and picks our people up and takes them to their destinations and brings them back home, and we pay her to do that, we're allowed to get those ridership counts and the miles. Right. So she was a big part of that award we won.
Yeah, and another thing people probably don't know about and talk about is you guys also have handicap accessible vehicles to take people that are bound to wheelchairs and things like that. I know personally with our family, it was a huge help in a time of need. Certainly ecstatic and thankful for that, but that's just another thing. You guys provide a great service, and I just wanted to thank you for that as well. So,
you're welcome.
You bet. Well, Charlie, really enjoy having you on. A lot of information we've got out there about your program, all the great things you've done. Before we let you go, though, tell us about how people out there watching want to start getting rides, things like that. How do they do that?
You just have to call our office, and we have a brochure that has all the times that the trolley picks up certain points. There's like 20 different points in Okmulgee that they pick up, and then you can also get the brochure also tells you of our work routes. So you don't have to work at Creek Nation to catch a ride from Glenpool. If you want to come down and spend the day, you can jump on our work route, come down and take care of all your business during the day, then catch it going back home. So
great. Give us that office number real quick.
It's 918-732-7909.
918-732-7909. Get you to the transit office. Charlie Lesarge, all his people will help you out, get you hooked up, and they do a fantastic job. Charlie, thanks for being with us today. Love having you on the program. Let's take a quick break here, and we'll be right back with the rest of the show.
Looking for your next 18-hole adventure? Then take a look at Fountainhead Creek Golf Club. Nestled in the beautiful confines of Lake Eufaula State Park, large sloping greens and well-placed bunkers characterize the Muskogee Creek Nation's Floyd Farley designed course and offers a fine test of skill for any golfer. Stay up on all the latest gear and equipment with a visit to our pro shop. Have lunch at the turn at the Clubhouse Grill. We're waiting to accommodate you at Fountainhead Creek. Give us a call at 918-689-3209 or visit fountainheadgolf.com to book your next round. Fountainhead Creek Golf Club, close to home, far from ordinary.
I think creatively, I was just into drawing for a long time, ever since I was a kid. It wasn't until maybe around late 2007, 2008 that I became aware of the graffiti scene. It changed everything for me. You don't even really understand in the beginning what kind of journey it's going to take you on, but I think that in order to become great at what you do, it really boils down to how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your own artistic creativity and your own expression. I think it comes from a belief in oneself and pushing yourself to the limits as far as you can take it.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Jason Salzman here, and thanks once again to Mr. Charlie Lesarge for joining us in studio. Great things happening at the Muskogee Creek Nation Transportation Program. Well, getting into our first feature for this week, we went to OSU in Stillwater talking to some great people over there. I bet you didn't know this, but the director of the Native American Studies program over there at OSU is Muskogee Creek, Mr. John Chaney. And John, actually not John Chaney, the famous Temple basketball coach, but the famous Creek psychology professor, does a great job there getting natives into psychology with that program there. But he and his wife, Miss Elizabeth Payne, just fantastic people. They have been working for a few years now on an idea to bring a Center for Sovereign Nations to the campus of Oklahoma State University, sort of a way to just shrink down that communication barrier that can happen between tribes and state universities, things like that, to where they can have a one-stop shop to get things done. So what a fantastic day we had at OSU.
It's just been a dream of both my husband, John Chaney, and myself, and aligned with the President's vision, Provost Sandifer, who you just met, Associate Provost Dr. Fry. We have all been part of something that's much larger than us, and it's been going on for a very long time. This has been a vision of President Hargis. This has been a commitment on behalf of the Native American faculty and staff, and many initiatives have been happening across the OSU campuses, Stillwater, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and of course Okmulgee, that have really come together to allow this collective to take place.
About 4 years ago, I was appointed director of the Center for American Indian Studies at OSU, and part of that mission was to try to understand what the educational, research, and service needs were of the tribes around the state. Elizabeth Payne and I embarked on a statewide, really interview assessment of what the research and education needs were, service needs, partnership potentials were.
We had an opportunity to visit with the leaders of several nations in the state, and they each endorsed the value of having a central point of contact, and certainly that does not mean an only point of contact, but they said the university, especially for one who's not part of the university, can be sort of large and a bit complicated. So if they could just have a guide, basically someone that they knew would answer the phone, who would know who they were, certainly know who their students were, and someone who could connect them to all the great resources that were available on campus. That was something that was really consistently endorsed by all the nations we visited with.
It was really important to me as a member of the Muskogee Nation to make sure that we visited the Muskogee Nation to talk about the proposed ideas that we had here at Oklahoma State. It was really interesting. That's when we met you. So it's sort of a full circle thing for us that you're back here now covering what wound up being one of the products, one of the primary products of our visit with the tribes. The new Center for Sovereign Nation is a direct result of that assessment or those series of interviews that we did when we first met you.
We're very excited about the new Center for Sovereign Nations, and we do think it reflects our deep commitment to working with the Indian tribes and nations in Oklahoma to help produce more Native American college graduates. That's really what we're trying to do. So we're very excited about this opportunity. I've only been here for about a year, and I was really pleased and really surprised when I got here to see all of the different things that were going on. The work that John Chaney and Elizabeth Payne were doing. But we also have people in nutritional sciences and the Center for Health Sciences in Tulsa and elsewhere on campus that are really working closely with different Native American groups in the state.
As the director of the Center for American Indian Studies and as a psychology professor here, one of the things we were particularly interested in were potential internship opportunities and other sort of social services types of approaches, and it turned into something much larger than that.
We have so many mentors within the state. There are so many best practices to borrow from, and it's our objective to share everything that we might ever figure out and to also be respectful and be wise enough to ask questions and invite others who've been down this path for quite a while to help show us the way. The employees that work at the center are student leaders, and really they are more than just task doers. We clearly have a vision and a mission, but they participate in developing the strategies as well as executing them, and quite frankly, that's sovereignty, that's leadership, and I am very encouraged at our collective futures when I think that young people like these will be leading us. We're in good hands.
And a big thanks once again to Elizabeth Payne, Dr. John Chaney there at the Oklahoma State University in Stillwater. And as you can see here, I've got my pin on, the Center for Sovereign Nations lapel pin. You can see these things all over OSU, researchers, department heads, the provost, the president. They're all on board with this great initiative. And John, Elizabeth did a fantastic job. They're loyal viewers of the program. It's kind of why I like them so much. They're great people, wonderful, wonderful citizens, wonderful people doing these things. So thanks to John and Elizabeth once again, and I will be wearing this proudly at most places I go when I got to throw a coat on. Well, moving right along, our next feature takes us right over to Green Country Technology Center here in Okmulgee as our Department of Education, the Creek Nation Department of Education and Training, held a Superintendent Summit. Now, I think this is like the second, maybe third year that they've done this. They get all the area school superintendents in one place, talk about our services, our programs. It's really a great way to network.
Today is our third event for the Superintendent Summit. We call it our 2015 Superintendent Summit, but in effect it's our third event, and it's something that we felt we needed to start to create some dialogue and some engagement with the school districts within our jurisdiction, and to see the turnout today has just been wonderful. The response, you know, with a lot of the programs that the Creek Nation provides to students in these school districts. So it's a great gathering, and it's a social event because culturally, you know, we're a social people and we eat and, you know, we share. So it's a great event. I think it's a big plus. You know, when we look at a lot of the legislation that was created to establish the literacy program, the STEM initiative with BOT-BALL, the AP testing legislation, I think what a lot of the school districts and leaders are finding out is that we provide a lot more than they're aware of. And I think today went a long way of giving them an update of those things. And so hopefully afterwards they'll be calling our offices and with questions, and but it's a great exchange of information.
To come over here and see what the Creek Nation has to offer our Native American students
in a public school setting. It's pretty tremendous. Having been a part of Muskogee Creek Nation as the manager for the Higher Education Department, it is eye-opening to see the many programs that are offered under the employment and training proportion of the tribe. With a lot of the cuts that we are experiencing from the state and federal programs, to know that the Muskogee Creek Nation has some things to offer that we possibly couldn't afford because of those budget cuts is very neat and exciting to know.
All of the superintendents located from school districts within the Creek Nation boundaries were invited to this event, or to send a representative. And what we did today was we did a program overview so that they can take that information back to their counselors, to their teachers, and to the other administrative people in their districts to help disseminate this information to families and to students to help them be more successful in life. Budget cuts are everywhere. No one's exempt from that. You know, times are tough. And one of the things that we do here, not only do we have all the resources to our citizens, but with the position of grant writer that I fulfill, I'm writing grants and working with the schools. We actually form partnerships for some of our grants with the TEA, which is a tribal education agency, and the LEAs, which is a local education agency, which are the schools, and then the SEA, which are state education agencies. We recently submitted a STEP grant, which is the State Tribal Educational Partnership, in which we partnered with the State Department of Education and local schools within our nation boundaries to bring services to those schools with those grants.
And a great job there by the Department of Education and Training here at Muskogee Creek Nation. Dr. Wayne Johnson, all of his staff doing a wonderful job. And actually, as we say goodbye, or well, farewell, we don't say goodbye in the Muskogee Creek language, we say Chihichathlees. We'll see you again. Dr. Wayne Johnson is going to be moving on and retiring, so he's kind of wrapping things up here. What a way to go, having a great superintendent summit. And thanks to all those superintendents for coming and being a part of that as well. Well, our last feature brings us to the Creek Nation Department of Health. And as you look on the calendar year with the Department of Health, you can sort of earmark these big events that they have, the Pink Party, they have the Diabetes Summit. And this is another one here, the Diabetes Summit, just another year where they bring everyone together, share information on this disease that obviously affects natives in a frequent way. And they're trying to get all the information out they can. They always bring new things to the summit. So with that in mind, we definitely want to cover it each and every year. They do a great job.
This is the 9th annual Diabetes Summit. We are always trying to get individuals, they don't have to have diabetes, but individuals who are interested in learning how to prevent diabetes. We have vendors here that have some good information about how to prevent diabetes, or if they have diabetes, how to manage their diabetes. We have great speakers from around the state that are coming to speak today. Well, first of all, in the morning we have some really fun physical activity classes. We have Zumba and gentle yoga that we do in the morning, and we also have some different types of things that talk about diabetes, what types of diabetes are out there, how diabetes affects your body, healthy eating. We have things like ambulance, how to transfer, and some different things with the ambulance. It's really neat and it gives you some good information about caring for patients, especially if you're a caregiver. And we have a variety of things that go into the prevention of diabetes as well. We want people to understand that diabetes, although it is a disease that could be, it can be prevented if you do get diabetes, that it also it can be sustained. You can actually live healthy lives with diabetes. So.
This is a very important event, you know, as diabetes is the #1 concern across Indian country. And you know, the key to diabetes control is prevention. And so this is what today is about. It's a summit to get everyone together and let them know what we got going on throughout the communities, the activity, and to increase the prevention so that we can help cure diabetes. Well, I think about the diabetes program, and I think what we've done over the past several years is to increase accessibility to care. And increasing accessibility to care comes with so many different areas, you know, the family practice area where we see a lot of our diabetes patients. But what we're trying to do, accessibility to care, is our wellness centers. We're starting to have wellness centers with each of our facilities that we build. And we know that that's going to be a huge asset to our organization and to our patients. So they'll have a place to go so they can exercise and feel comfortable exercising, and they'll be a part of our systems. What we do is try to be informative about what we have, and if they're able to ask questions they have if they're concerned or confused about something. So it's definitely, when we have these events, it's definitely information for the patients.
Okay, that'll wrap us up for another episode of Native News Today. I want to thank you for joining us this week. We really hope that you enjoyed all of our features and the program as much as we enjoyed putting it together, going out, meeting people, filming those stories. So it was a great week for us, and we certainly hope that you've enjoyed it here. And as I always say, if you can't enjoy it here on KSBI in the western regions of the state, or here in the eastern Green Country regions of the state on CW 1219, you can always catch us on our online channel. And our online channel seems to be really blowing up these days. It's a lot of people have been viewing that channel, and a lot of people have been going for the forums, things like that. And we'll continue to have some things on there with some of our candidates and a little bit of that. So you definitely want to stay hooked up on the online channel. I want to thank all of our features for this week. Once again, Muskogee Creek Nation Transit does an excellent job. Charlie Lesarge, want to thank him for stopping in and talking about some of the good news there. Also, the Superintendent Summit, great job there, Muskogee Creek Nation Education and Training. We took a trip over to the Diabetes Summit, Health, fantastic work there. And also our friends at OSU, Elizabeth Payne and Mr. Dr. John Chaney, all the great people there, all the great student leaders that work in that center and do a fantastic job. And I got to tell you, that John Chaney, he can put down a hamburger like nobody's business and then walk it off. So that's pretty impressive. Well, catch us on Facebook, catch us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram. We're all over the place on social media. There's no excuse not to be informed, and check us out. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next time.